It's my pleasure this afternoon to introduce Robb Hill, president of R Hill Enterprises. Robb is a licensed financial professional and founder of R Hill Enterprises and has been conducting lectures in basic financial planning and has appeared on numerous media outlets across the nation. Robb is also a proud U.S. Army veteran and earned his Bachelor of Science degree in business management. He's also the author of Ask the Right Questions, Get the Right Answers for Sound Retirement Planning. Robb, welcome.
Thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. And it is a pleasure and an honor for me to be able to speak with you today concerning why settle for less when you could be the best, okay? Why settle for less when you could be the best? Our agenda is going to be what you will learn, how to define what you want, specific. See, when we talk about defining things, we want to get down to the specifics of it, okay? We want to have, I want this 4-bedroom house. Sounds good, but it doesn't sound like I want a 4-bedroom brick house with an Olympic-sized swimming pool in the backyard and 3 fireplaces and 4 bathrooms and all. See, that's how you get to specifics. So you've got to be very specific when you want to transform where you are right now. And I'm going to let you in a little secret. In case you didn't know, you are where you are right now because that's where you want to be. Okay? So now let's turn it up another notch. We got that definition down. Now we got to develop a plan to get what we want. So see, first and foremost, if you don't know where you want to go, how are you going to get there? And especially true is if you don't know where you are, how you going to get there, right? I'm going to California. I'm going to jump in my car and point it east, right? How long you think it's going to take me to get to California, right? It ain't going to happen. Cars don't float. It ain't going to happen. So I got to know where I'm at. Okay, I'm going to face to the west because California is in the west. So we're going west, right? Everybody got that? Y'all on the same page? We got to know where you got to first know where you are in order to get to where it is you want to be. So you got to decide where you at. What is it market share we want to gain, more customers and all this kind of stuff? You got to know where you're at. What are you doing that's better than what that next man is doing? All right? So we're going to develop the plan. How to negate the negative thoughts. This is where I really should have started, okay? Because it's those thoughts that determine everything. This room right here, this hotel, this whole thing was but a thought in somebody's mind. It was a thought. And then what did they do? They took that thought and they put it down on paper, which is called a blueprint, all right? So whatever plans you may have, however you want to take yourself to the next level, you got to decide how you're going to get there. You're going to have a plan. And see, you don't have to know everything, but you do need to know some people. Because when you decide what it is that you're going to do, guess what? Something unexplainable happens. Different people start coming into your life and other people start leaving. Okay? Those that are going to help you get to where it is that you want to be are going to be introduced into your life, and you got to be able to recognize it. This guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah, man, tell me, what do you think about this? I was reading a book one time, and this guy told me if he was broke, what he would do is he would get in his best clothes that he had, and he would go find the richest man in town and take him to lunch. I said, well, why you want to do that? He said, so I can pick his brain. See, because if you don't ask the right questions, you ain't going to get the right answers. Everybody's asking all these questions, but they're not getting the right answers, which is why I wrote that book, Ask the Right Questions, Get the Right Answers, because in my practice, I've ran across a lot of people that don't know that they don't know what they thought they knew, right? They didn't know that they didn't know, but they thought they knew. And that's why I entitled the book that way. But the negative thoughts, I mean, the first thing you're going to get is say, well, yeah, we want to increase by 50%. And the very next thought that comes into your mind is, how you gonna do that? You ain't got nothing, you don't know enough, you can't do that. And then once you give that life inside you, your mind goes to work immediately showing you all the reasons why you can't do it. On the same token, because there's a flip side to every coin. On that same token, if you turn that coin over and you think about, how can I do it? Your mind goes into an overdrive, looking for different ways and different people and all that kind of stuff to help you get to where it is you want to be. So you have to be open-minded, and you don't let those negative thoughts manifest. By manifest, I mean don't speak them. Don't let them out. Just cast it aside, right? The first thing that comes up is, yeah, but you ain't smart enough to do that. You don't know the right people. You don't do this, you don't do that. All these things will come up, and your mind will show you all the reasons why you're right. Henry Ford said it best. He said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you're right. So I would submit to you all tonight, before you lay your head down on that pillow, what you do is you get you out a blank sheet of paper. Turn off the TV, the Facebook, the computers, turn all that stuff off and sit down and write at the top of it what I'm going to do before I die. Number it 1 through 10. And then no matter how crazy it sounds, write it down. Write it down. Because what happens is you give your mind something to work on. You know when the best time to read a book is? Right before you go to sleep. Lay in the bed, open up you a book, something with some meat on it. I'm not talking about Godfather 15, okay? We don't want to see Jaws 22. No, we didn't talk about that. We're talking about is get something with some meat on the bones. There are a lot of books. I used to, back before it got to all the digital books and all that kind of stuff, I would write down the question, what it is that I want to learn. And I would go to Barnes & Noble, and I'd walk right into that self-help section. And I'd find something that lined up with that title. And that's how I got the book. See, what a lot of people don't understand is that reading develops the powers of concentration and creative thinking. All right? You can't argue with the book. Your mind goes through what I like to call mental gymnastics. You go from, wow, I didn't know that, to, man, could this really be true, to, oh, I can't get with that, to, maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. This just might work. And how do you know? See, another thing that you got to learn too is there is no try. Yoda said it best. There is no try, he said, young grasshopper, there's no try, there's only do or do not. That's it. That's the best thing I took out of that Star Wars movie. Another thing that I learned, and I'm a veteran, okay? And in basic training, I had this staff sergeant named Staff Sergeant Tucker. I will never forget this man, all right? And we were doing a forced road march. I was in Alabama. And you know Alabama in August is hot. It is hot. And so we're marching up and down these hills and all this kind of stuff, and we're getting ready to do it again. And so we're packing our rucks. And I'm putting in all this stuff, this coffee pot and all that. I'm like, man, we don't need all this garbage. What I need this for? What is this? What? And Staff Sergeant Tucker said, hey, Dizzy, why are you complaining about all this stuff? I said, we don't need to carry all this stuff. He said, look, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And that has stuck with me forever, because I run across so many people that don't have life insurance. They don't have this, they don't have that. They have no plan whatsoever for their lives. They're just wandering generalities, which I used to be too. Until I started thinking, I'm like, man, there's got to be more to it than this. But anyway, suffice it to say, look, don't let those negative thoughts out, all right? Just cast them aside. And then we got how to overcome the two enemies that defeat most wannabes. What are those two enemies? Fear. Anybody? Fear and doubt. Fear and doubt. You may come up with a great idea and you get a nice smile on your face and all that. That idea was not given to you to put a smile on your face. It was given to you to do something with it. But then we get that smile on our face and say, yeah, that'd be so nice. And the very next thing, but you can't do it. You ain't got the skill. You ain't smart enough. You're too old. You're too young. It just ain't gonna happen for you. Ain't nobody in your family ever done nothing like this. What makes you think you can do it? And that's how the mind goes to work on it. It's called self-sabotage. Before you even get started, you shoot yourself in the foot. That's where I was at. I was tore up from the floor up, so to speak, right? I was listening to the wrong people, doing the wrong things, and getting disastrous results. So what happened? A guy looked me in my face and he told me, he said, Rob, you are so much more than what you have become. And it hit me because when he told me that, I was homeless, jobless, alcoholic, drug addict, all that stuff. I was all of that. He said, you are so much more than what you have become. I said, yeah, okay, sounds good, but I got all these problems. He said, Rob, you ain't got all those problems. You got one problem. I said, one problem? He said, what's that? He said, go look in the mirror. It's me. It was me. I was the problem. And my thinking was stinking, all right? I'm telling you, I was thinking all the wrong stuff and all that, but you overcome those negative thoughts and all that by not giving life to them. See, if you want something to die, don't breathe CPR into it. Don't bring it back to life. Let it go. Let it go. Count your blessings. Always count your blessings. That's where I'm at now. And it's a beautiful thing, all right? And I got a short time with you people, okay? So I just want to submit this to you. You know, we all get bombarded with thoughts all day long. Thousands of thoughts coming in. We don't know what's good or what's bad and all that. What the problem is we got to capture those good thoughts. That's why you keep a notebook and a pen, because a short pencil is better than a long memory. All right? You keep a pen and paper with you. When you lay in bed at night, you get these ideas because your mind is working on solutions. All right? It's working on solutions. And then you lay there and you sleeping and you smiling, just a smiling, and you wake up and it's gone. That's why you need to keep that notepad by your bed, so that when the idea hits you, bam, you just roll over and write it down and then try to catch back up with it, okay? So that's where, I mean, always be prepared, because you never know when that idea is going to come. And it only takes one. It only takes one. So write it down. Write it down, all right? And we'll continue on. The power of vision. Helen Keller said, the bad thing about it is people that can see but have no vision. What is vision? Vision is looking toward the possible, what can happen. You got to have a vision, because things are changing so fast right now. I mean, technology that used to take 100 years is now taking 6 months. I'm scared to buy a computer today. Well, they're going to tell me next week it's garbage. I mean, I'm old school. I'm one of them ones that, you know, if you got to type, if they made it so you can talk to it, oh man, I was in love, boy. Then I started going through the editor. It's putting things in there I didn't say. So, you know, but I digress. Anyway, the idea of vision is a glimpse of where you can be. Now, I say where you can be because it ain't going to happen by osmosis. It's going to take some work on your part. And this can of worms opens from the inside, ladies and gentlemen. You got to open your eyes and look within. Bob Marley said that. Open your eyes and look within. Your answers are there, but you got to give your mind something to work with. This is where reading is critical, right? Don't read Godfather 25. Don't read Stephen King's books, and he writes some really books. I mean, my first novel that I ever read was by Stephen King, and it was called The Stand. And it was so real. I mean, I look back on that now and I see how the imagination works, because it paints pictures on you. It ain't like watching a movie. Nah, you read the book. Oh man, you're gonna go to places you never thought you could go. I said, wow, look, the way that he wrote that, if you never saw The Stand or ever heard of The Stand, Stephen King was talking about this government experiment that went wrong. They were developing a new chemical warfare weapon or whatever, right? And this thing was 99.9% communicable, meaning that if somebody walked in that door right there and said hello, all of us would get it. And this was running through my mind, and I'm like, look at the power of the imagination. I could see the pictures of this. If I say to you right now, can you see that big red balloon out there? I bet you every one of y'all can see a big red balloon. Why is that? Why is that? It's because vision is there. It's just now we got to learn how to use it. We got to learn how to direct that vision to what it is that we want to accomplish. Whether that be a bigger business, a better relationship with your family, a better relationship with your friends, whatever it may be. You've been given a picture of it. Now you have to change and prepare yourself to be worthy of having that vision. All right? We got that? Everybody knows about that vision thing, right? Look ahead, see what it is that you think you can't do, and do it. Right? The only people that ain't doing nothing are those that ain't doing nothing. Only people that ain't criticized are those that ain't doing nothing. Right? Just you ever heard somebody say, it's Monday. Oh, it's Monday. Same old, Robb. I said, really? That's a dull life. How's it going to be the same old, same old? It's Monday again. This is a person that has no direction. Okay? And I wrote a poem about direction. And it goes like this. You must have a direction, a goal worthy to pursue. In seeking direction, you will find what to do on a daily basis to be better every day. It is not perfection we seek. It is growth along the way. The journey is long and you cannot cheat. It is sometimes bitter, other times it is sweet. As you forge ahead, though weary you may be, stay focused on your goal and not what you now see. Moment by moment and little by little, success and failure look the same in the middle. One day you'll look back and say with a smile, tough journey, my friend, but well worth the while. All right? All right? So we got to keep moving. We got to keep moving. Oh, that's yours truly right there. Corrupt thinking. This is where self-sabotage is really pervasive, all right? It slides in so slick, you don't see it coming until everything falls apart. And then you know what you say? I knew it. I knew it wasn't going to work. See, you're expecting failure. And expectation is the breeding ground for miracles or disasters. Okay? You say, well, I try, I give it a shot, you know. It ain't going to happen. You might as well not even go there. You might as well not even do it. You already done shot yourself in the foot. So what you do is you say, okay. I get up in the morning, I go to that mirror in the morning, you know what I say? You the man. You the man. Boy, it's going to be an outstanding day today. And you know what happens? Everything lines up with that. It's just like the same way if you get up and say, it's Monday again. Do you know that most heart attacks occur between 8 and 9 a.m. on Monday morning? You know that? Did you know that? I wonder why that is. It's because people are living their lives in drudgery. Just keep on keeping on. You hear them say, same thing, different day. I said, really? Really? Is it the same thing for you every day? It ain't for me. I'm looking for it. You know, there was a story that I read about these two little boys, and one was totally negative and one was totally positive. And the dad took them and he put the negative one in this barn with a big old pile of horse manure in there. And the little boy said, I knew it. I knew it. I always get the bad end of the stick. I just knew it was going to happen. I knew it. It ain't going to work. And he took the little bad little boy out and put the positive little boy in there. And he started tearing through the horse manure, tearing through there. And the dad looked at him and said, what are you doing? He said, with all this manure, there's got to be a pony in here somewhere. All right? So this is it. You are the captain of your ship, all right? Positive thinking has tremendous benefits to it, all right? There was a time in my life when I wanted to take a long walk off of a short pier. Why? Because everything was jacked up. I said everything was jacked up. Little did I know, it wasn't everything was jacked up. It was me that was jacked up. So I had to go in there and rearrange some things and all that kind of stuff. And how did I do it? How did I do that? I'm what you call an analytical person. I want to know how it works, right? I want to know how it works. That just totally had me jacked up for a long time trying to figure out how it worked, when what I really needed to know was why it worked. See, when you know the why, you can bear any how. You got to know the why first. Why do I want to do this? Why do I want to help more people? Why do I keep reading these boring books and all that kind of good stuff? That's another subject I'll touch on in a moment. But that corrupt thinking was based on all the things that I had been through in my life. I had been imbued with corrupt thinking. It was always, you know how they say, is the glass half full or half empty? It was always half empty. But it's the same thing. You're looking at 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. What's the difference? There's a vast difference between half full and half empty. Half empty means you're running out. Half full means there's a whole lot more left in store. All right? So we want to look at that glass as half full, and we want to fill it up and have it running over. Okay? That's what we want to get to. Your business, whatever it is that you're doing right now, you can do better. But it's not about working in your business, it's working on you. You have got to get better. If you want more, you got to get better. That's it. That's it. You just get better. Work on you. Read some books. Like, I read, one of the first books I read was The Magic of Thinking Big by Dr. David Schwartz. Man, that book turned me around, boy. That is a great book. That is a great, if you have not read that one, pick that one up. And then I'm going to tell you what happened is, I first started reading these books, these powerful, life-changing books and all that kind of stuff, and the first thing that happened, I get sleepy. I read two sentences and I'm ready to nod out. And you know, one of my mentors told me, he said, Rob, it's not that you're reading a boring book, it's because your focus is off. See, you got to get from I'm reading this boring book to I'm creating the life that I want. And you get a newfound burst of energy. How many of you ever been tired and that friend called you up and said, girl, don't you know they got the shoes on sale over there wherever they sell the shoes at, right? And you jump up and you going to get you some new shoes. Got a closet full of shoes already, but you're going to get you some more, right? You get a new burst of energy. Guys, you know what? Man, the girls are out. Yeah, I'm tired. He said, man, you need to see this one over here. And all of a sudden you get a burst of energy. I'm going to see this girl, right? Things like that happen. So when you change your focus, you change your flow of energy. I was talking to some people and they work in W-2 wage earners and all that. And like, man, this is terrible. I said, see, you get focused so much on what you're going through, you can't see what you're going to. See, you just going through this to get to that paycheck so you can have steak Friday, you know? So that when you open up the refrigerator door, you don't get that big echo in there, you know? I mean, I like to eat. Y'all like to eat? How many of y'all like to eat, right? So somehow something got to get in there. It ain't just going to magically appear. You're going to have to do something. So why not make it the best? See, how you do anything is how you do everything. A lot of people don't know that, but how you do anything is how you do everything. So why not just put your best foot forward all the time? All the time. Right? Y'all with me here? Are we still here? Hello, hello. Oh, I need a little bit of participation out there. Okay, but let's continue on here. Self-sabotage. It begins in the mind. And then once it pops into your mind, and you let it come out of your mouth, and that's when it manifests. So don't give those bad thoughts a moment. Don't even give them time. Just cast that aside, all right? Then we go to low self-esteem. Where does low self-esteem come from? That comes from everybody telling you you ain't nothing. You ain't this, you ain't that. And then you telling yourself, well, he's better than me and they're better than me and I just can't do this because of, all those things, you need to cast all that out. Don't give voice to it. All right? Let it die on the vine. Aiming too low. We all know about that, right? We all know about that. Well, I'll settle for second place. I'll settle for third place. No, why not go to win all the time? Win all the time. The only reason why you lose is because you did not learn the lesson. Right? Life is a lot like school. Only in school you get the lesson, then you get the test. In life, you get the test, then you get the lesson. And you get to keep repeating it over and over and over again until you get it. Right? So I've been here before. Yeah? You're going to keep coming back until you get it. All right? No effort. I'm just going to sit back. Maybe I'll be blessed. Maybe something will fall into my lap. You know, it ain't going to happen like that. It ain't going to happen like that. You're going to have to do something. Whatever it is, you're going to have to do it. Because it ain't going to fall in your lap. Right? Y'all with me there? You know that, right? Say, I was dreaming about a roast beef sandwich. And I'm just sitting there wishing, man, with the all juice on the side and a big old thing of fries sitting there, and yes, I want it. But until I get up and go get in that car and head over to Rosati's, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't happening. You can sit there and think about it all you want. No, it ain't gonna happen, so get up and do something. All right? You with me? Are you with me? Yes. All right. You are so much more than what you have become. That guy that told me that, God rest his peace, rest his soul, but he was right. I had no idea I'd be doing what I'm doing today. And then I walk around and tell people, you can do it. You can do it. You got to write the vision down. Write it down on paper and look at it and say, what am I, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do this? And then you read books on people that have done what you want to do. You learn all the lessons first. See, experience is only the slowest, most unforgiving teacher you ever want to get with. Right? You ever heard that old expression, experience is the best teacher? Anybody heard that? Do you believe it? Uh-oh. So now I guess I'm going to have to go into this one right here, right? Okay. Experience is the best teacher is only half the truth. And half the truth is a total lie. I'll give you an example. There was this first mate on board this ship, and he wanted to be the captain. So he went to the owners of the shipyard and told them, hey, man, I could be a better captain than this guy. He don't know what he's doing. They were happy with the captain. They said, well, no, we're going to keep you first mate, and he's going to remain the captain. So he was upset. So they set out on their next voyage, and he went to the ship's logbook, and he wrote in the logbook, the captain was sober today, and closed up the book. Day 2 went by, he didn't write nothing. Day 3 came along, and he went in there and wrote, the captain was sober today, and closed up the book, set it down, and the next day went by, he didn't write nothing. The third day came along, and he picked up that logbook, and he wrote in there, the captain was sober today. And they pulled into port. What's the first thing they want to do? They want to see the ship's log. They pull out the log, and the guy looks in there, he sees, the captain was sober today. That's an odd entry. Didn't see nothing on page 2, and then he sees, the captain was sober today. So what is he thinking about yesterday? Right? You see? And then he flipped the page and said, the captain was sober today. He slammed down the book. Bring the captain in here. Right? And the first mate, bring them both in here. He said, well, why'd you write this entry? And the question is, did the first mate lie? Did he lie? No. He only told half the truth, because the whole truth is the captain was sober every day. He just chose to point it out on those specific days to send that man's mind down in that rabbit hole. That's the same thing when somebody tells you experience is the best teacher. That's only half the truth. The whole truth is somebody else's experience is the best teacher. Right? People, successful people write books. They tell you about what holes not to step in. All this kind of stuff. All you got to do is read the book. You can't argue with the book. I learned that the hard way. Well, I don't want to read. Look how thick this book is and all that. You know what? When you have specific intent, you'll knock that book out. You'll knock it out. So definitely, the loss of the habit of reading is a gain in the realm of ignorance. Right? And it's not so much that you're reading, it's what you read that makes all the difference in the world. All right? So read powerful, uplifting things. I digress and say something with some meat on the bone. You know, just read something that's going to take you to the next level, because life is lived on levels and arrived at in stages. And at every new level you come to, there is a stage you must go through. If you refuse to go through that stage, you get kicked back on the last level, and that is where you will remain. Okay? So yes, so hey, you superstars in here. You just got to know it. I already know it. You need to know it. All right? And so we keep moving on here. This right here, you see this? This guy, all he knows is one thing. He wants to get to the top. That's all he knows is one thing. He wants to get to the top. So what does he do? He don't run up to that mountain with his jogging pants on and all that and start trying to climb up there. No, he gets the tools, the cleats, the belt, the rope, the water, all the stuff he needs to get up that mountain. See, too many people trying to run up the mountain and ain't got no tools. You got to have some tools. And so what do you do when you get to it? You go up to it and you go, boom, boom. Now you're up a little bit higher. What do? You adapt to the change that's taking place in your conditions, circumstances, and environment. And then you can see the next step. Boom, 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 boom. Now you're up a little bit higher. What do? You adapt to the change that's taking place in your conditions, circumstances, and environment. And that's how you get to the top. Whatever that mountain may be in your life, get the tools necessary to scale it. All right? If you don't know what to do, find out. Okay, find out. If you don't ask the right questions, you ain't going to get the right answer. How am I going to climb to the top of that mountain? You're going to go and find you a guide, number one, and then you're going to take you some mountain climber training. You're going to get you some exercise and learn about nutrition and all that kind of good stuff, and you're going to be able to climb that mountain, because you can't get up there with a bag of donuts on your back. It ain't going to happen. It ain't going to happen. And so you got to set all that stuff that's distracting you and all that, just set it down and focus on what it is that you want to do. Right? Focus is that's the tipping point. Wherever your focus goes, that's where your energy flows. All right? Y'all with me there? Okay, and then we move on again. So you decide what you want. Then you got to decide what you're willing to give up in order to get it. Now, you ain't going to get something for nothing. What you get for free is called nothing. Everything costs something. You might not be paying, but somebody is. All right? I just threw that word out of my vocabulary, free. You don't get nothing for free. Ain't nothing free. Everything costs something. Everything costs something, okay? They say, well, we got this free. You can sign up for this and you get this free. It ain't free. It's wrapped up in there somewhere. Somewhere, somebody getting paid for it. And somebody paying for it, okay? And so that's what we want to get right there. And I've pretty much done used up my time, haven't I? I'm going to leave you guys with this right here. And this one is called As You Think, So Shall It Be. It goes, have your thoughts wandered aimless like a boat upon the sea, without plan or purpose or a sense of destiny? If so, this mental drifting is the reason that you stalled and remain far and distant from the port to which you're called. Success for you has signaled with a passageway designed, but its shore will not be found until you fix it in your mind. As the mariner his map, your thoughts will be your chart. If success shall be your end, then this must be your start. Set your gaze and lock it on the light that you seek. Visualize achievement, its fulfillment start to speak. For it is only when your focus is made sharp as the glass will the goals that you set be made clear and come to pass. So from here, set a new course with your drifting left behind. The life that you desire, serious picture in your mind. For as you look ahead, know this of destiny. As you think within your heart, so shall it one day be. My name is Rob. Love y'all. All right? Love y'all. And there we go. Not the man.